Hello, and welcome to another episode of Life Talks the Shorts. I'm your host, Uncle Chad, and gotta give praise and honor to the Heavenly Father. I'm gonna do that today. Video is kind of dark, I'm sitting in, can't nobody really see my face because of how I'm sitting. No, I'm just joking. But today, it's been a long day. It's been a spiritually fulfilling day, learning a lot of things about myself and seeing the change within myself and realizing a couple of things that are very important to me, and it's it's not easy being a spiritual person. You have to really humble yourself to a lot of things, to a lot of situations, to have some understanding of what we go through, what we will go through, trials and tribulations, and a lot of things like that, and I my thoughts was on uh, knowledge and understanding and wisdom. First you seek knowledge in order to get understanding, and therefore you will have wisdom. Wisdom is basically, in my own opinion, it's just basically common sense and knowing right from wrong, wickedness from righteousness, you know. And on my walk as a spiritual person, that's basically what I learned first. In order to get to where I'm at now, I started my whole walk in spirituality, being a Christian. I started out as a Baptist, and when I started on that journey, uh, I was in church, and the pastor started talking about the Book of Job, and basically that book was an inspiration to me. You know, the trials and tribulations that Job went through in order for God to prove a point to Satan that no matter what you do, when my child has faith and trust in me, there's nothing you can do. And Job basically showed Satan that no matter what you do, I'm going to have faith, and I'm going to stand on that, no matter how hard it got, and at that time was at a point in my life when I was feeling the same way, but it wasn't on a spiritual level to where I was realizing that it was Satan, or wickedness that was holding me down or anything like that. It was just basically me thinking that, I'm just going through something, saying nobody cared, nobody loved me or whatever it was. I was out on my own, and didn't know anything about God because I always kind of, I'd say, I shunned myself away from from religion and spirituality and stuff like that at that point in time. But that's when God really entered my life, and changed me, and I started seeking the word and learning the word. But at that point in time, I wasn't really ready for the truth the way that it is now, because like when I used to read the Bible and stuff like that, I would read things, but I wouldn't really get the full understanding of what I was reading. So it was just like you read something, as they say, I was reading the Bible like a book, which wasn't the right way. You know what I'm saying? It takes prayer. You know what I'm saying? You got to seek the word and understand the word in order to live the word. And it took me going through a whole lot of things. God actually slowing me, well, actually bringing me to a hope, bringing my life to a hope, and putting me in a position to where only it was just me and Him. You see what I'm saying? And thank God, I had a father who had already started walking in spirituality in a truthful light. who God had already gave him the wisdom in order to start teaching me. And when I came to him with a question, he had an answer for me, which made a whole lot of sense, which I felt like that was God telling me and talking to me because I had been reading, saying that that's the charge of a father. A father is supposed to teach, his sons and be a father to his daughter and protect his daughter. So, I started to seek that knowledge because I started seeing the power and the strength of the Heavenly Father, what he can do, you know, in a physical aspect. When I start praying and I ask for protection for him to be my shield, from the wickedness, and wicked people and stuff like that, it was done, because I was sincere in my prayer. I trusted and I believed in him. So that's what he did, and that strengthened my desire to serve and to learn, and then that brought me to a point in my life to where, okay, I wanted to figure out I wanted to know, I wanted to know what was the difference in religions and faith. I've studied Rastafari, I studied Taoism, I read up on Buddhism and Hinduism, and Egyptian beliefs, Roman and Greek mythology, Viking mythology, just to see the comparisons and see the differences and the similarities and all. And one thing I kind of, in my opinion, I believe that even though all religions are different, but they all have similarities as far as there being one supreme being overall. Even though other religions believe in these different idyllic gods, there's only one true God, and that's what I believe in. That's the one that I follow, and he leads my life every day, and it's my shield, my comforter, my rock. He carries me when I can't walk for myself, and that's my belief, and I understand other people have their beliefs in what they think, and I would like to discuss or have people to communicate to me what they believe or what they think about religion and faith and how they walk in life. I mean, if you're not a spiritual person, then hey, fine. I don't judge nobody, because at one time in my life I wasn't a spiritual person, but to know people is to understand people, to humble myself down to hear another person out and understand that, hey, that's the choice that they make, and I can't judge you for it or judge that person for how they think and feel, but we still can come together in brotherhood and understand one another that, hey, okay, you choose to live your life the way I choose to live your life, and I choose to live my life the way I live my life, but we still can all get along, in brotherhood and morality. And that's something big that I deal with, because like I said, I walk my own spiritual faith, walk and in my spiritual faith. I'm sorry, I keep messing up, I'm getting kind of caught up in my words and my feelings and thoughts, but at the same time, because a lot of people who know me from the past or don't know spirituality the way that I know it, feel like it's not true. It's not. I don't believe what I believe. I'm trying to pull the wool over their eyes, or fake, or be a liar, and all of this type of stuff. But my philosophy to that is, if you was a spiritual person, the way that I'm a spiritual person, you would know not to judge me like that. Because it's my choice to feel what I feel and believe what I believe. My studies and my knowledge and my understanding comes from prayer and from reading the Bible, and the pastor that I study and I watch, he was fluent in Hebrew, so he was reading the word in the original text in Hebrew and Chaldee. You know, those are different languages and stuff like that. But that's how I receive my knowledge and my understanding in order to have the wisdom that I have. So basically, that's what I wanted to discuss, and that's just my thoughts and my opinions. So I'm going to end this episode of Life Talks, the shorts, episode 3, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.